I have been a fan of anime for almost all of my life. Some of my earliest memories as a child was putting captions on the TV and placing a blanket under the door to block the light in order to sneak shows like Eureka 7 and Big O way past my bedtime. These stories filled me with such awe as a kid and still do today. One thing I find that anime does much better over many other stories than out of, say, Western media or Hollywood is how organic they are. I love being surprised with the crazy concepts, creative powers, and elements I couldn't even fathom to imagine. It always keeps me way more engaged than seeing the third sequel to a story that shouldn't have even had a sequel in the first place, let alone two. This originality has always been an important factor to me in media, and no series keeps that more alive to me than Attack on Titan. It goes without saying, but I adore this series. I remember binging the first season in my college dorm room and coming out obsessed like many others did at the time. From the second I heard that glorious intro blare from my speakers to when I got my first look at the adorably menacing face of a Titan, I was hooked. This year, the fourth and final season of Attack on Titan is planned to air. I think now is as good as any to look back on Attack on Titan and analyze what makes this series such a compelling one. Opening with that classic image of the colossal Titan peering over the walls of Shiganshina really sets that tone of dread that is a staple in the series. In this world, humanity resides within three gigantic walls: Maria, Rose, and Sina. Think of it like three increasingly smaller donut rings. Anything beyond them is the territory of the cannibalistic, genitalia-lacking Titans. I love the Titan concept so much. I adore how odd their designs are, and their sole drive to consume humans makes them that much more sinister. It capitalizes on the zombie craze of the time, but in a way that is totally original. They're goddamn terrifying, and I love it. We are quickly introduced to our main character, Eren Yeager, his best friend Armin Arlert, and his adopted sister Mikasa Ackerman. The three of them have a very solid relationship that is established effectively well in these early scenes. We see that Armin is the brains, Mikasa is the brawn, and Eren is the heart. While this isn't a new dynamic, it's pulled off decently well. After some shenanigans in the city, we then meet Eren's parents, Grisha and Carla. Grisha then heads out into the interior with the promise to show Eren the basement, this series' white whale. Later, Eren laments of his wish to not feel like a caged animal, his prime motivation. Things are calm in the interim, and then Armin jinxes shit. The colossal Titan manifests from nowhere, kicks a hole in the wall, then dips instantaneously. Suddenly, Shiganshina is thrust into dismay as Titans flood into the city. To make matters worse for Carla, her son is an anime protagonist, which is never good for one's longevity. Hannes, a soldier and family friend of the Jaegers, tries to save her, but quickly realizes no. After seeing Eren's mom eaten alive by the happiest of Titans, our trio manages to escape the chaos, and Eren swears an oath to kill all the Titans, but not before the armored linebacker Titan emerges and creates another hole in the wall for good measure. Humanity has now been reduced from 3 walls of territory down to 2. Eren has a dream/flashback about his father giving him some serum and emerges from said dream with the key to the basement, and we never see Grisha again. In order to make good on his oath, Eren signs up for the cadets to become a member of the Scout Regiment, a group of soldiers that ventures outside the walls to fight Titans with the eventual goal of reclaiming the lost walls. Mikasa agrees to join as well to watch over him, and Armin joins up too, cause why not? During their training years, we meet series staples like Ymir, Krista, Reiner, Annie, Marco, Jean, Sasha, Connie, Bertold, and the somehow teenager Dax. Through their training, they learn that Titans are nigh invincible, except for a fatal blow to their nape. To hit those napes, The military has developed 3D maneuvering gear, a pulley and anchor system that allows the user to zip around tall objects. Armed with flesh-paring blades, they're the optimal way to kill a Titan. I love these things so much. They're so kooky. It sets a unique form of movement in the series, and I love seeing our characters zip across rooftops in gloriously animated scenes. Eren initially fails at learning to use the 3D MG, but with the help of Reiner and Berthold, he fails even harder. Just kidding though. Turns out he had a faulty belt buckle, and angry grandpa Keith Shaddis applauds him for his tenacity. 3 years later, the cadets are ready to become soldiers. The top 10 cadets have the opportunity to join the military police, a unit that protects the government in the interior, or else their options are either the wall garrison, soldiers who protect the walls and cities, or the scouts. Mikasa gets ranked first, duh, while Eren manages to secure 5th through teen angst alone. The cadets wait in Trost for their graduation ceremony. In what is soon to become a theme in this show, things turn to shit in an instant. The Colossal Titan returns for Wall Kick 2 Electric Boogaloo, but this time Eren is armed and ready. He zips over to the big red meanie, but before he can land a critical blow, a cloud of steam appears and the Colossal Titan is gone once again. Confused but undeterred, Eren returns to his fellow cadets and rallies them against the incoming flood of Titans. Inspired, Eren, Armin, and the rest of their gang charge at the Titans to very poor results. Defeated, God himself emerges to consume the blonde brainiac, but Eren leaps to his foot to save his friend from being a snack before becoming one himself. I was honestly so surprised when this happened the first time I watched the show. I didn't expect them to pull a Ned Stark on Eren, but they did, and I was okay with it. It's refreshing, and to be honest, I think them transitioning to a protagonist like Armin or Mikasa was the play. We then transition to Mikasa hacking through Titans like an orchestra conductor while also fighting capitalism. In a flashback, we learn that Mikasa came into the Jaeger family after her parents were killed by 3 human traffickers. Before they could do the same to her or worse, an 8-year-old Eren kills 2 of them, with Mikasa manifesting her power to cut down the last one. I thought Eren dying was remarkable, but this made me go, yeah. What the hell kind of 8-year-old has the rationale and ability to kill? Eren Yeager, apparently. I can't even imagine the conversations Grisha and Carla had after that one. Anywho, things are looking bad in Trost. Titans have overwhelmed the city, and our heroes are low on fuel, coming ever closer to becoming Titan Chow. In case you haven't noticed already, people die a lot in Attack on Titan. Mikasa soon learns that Eren was eaten through Armin and reacts by cutting down hordes of Titans, but in doing so burns through her fuel tank, crashing to the ground. Before the Titans can get their grubby hands on her, a rogue Titan emerges and decks the other Titan in the face, curb stomps its nape, then lets out a triumphant yell, or if you're watching the English dub, whatever this is. This new Titan begins going on a rampage throughout Trost, slapping the shit out of Titans left and right, while oddly becoming a target itself. Armin comes up with the idea to use the chaos to reach fuel and safety. The plan works, but our Titan hero succumbs to its wounds, and out of its neck emerges our boy, Eren Yeager. When Eren comes to, he discovers that he, Mikasa, and Armin are surrounded by cannons. The wall garrison demands that he claim his allegiance to humanity, which Eren does, but they are not convinced. They fire. With the help of a flashback Grisha, Eren summons his Titan shifting ability and blocks the shot, encasing Armin and Mikasa in a gigantic skeleton. Before the wall garrison can fire again, Armin gives a fiery speech defending Eren's humanity that honestly should have tore a lung. Again, the wall garrison doesn't give a shit, and readies to fire, only to be stopped by their gloriously mustached leader, Commander Pixis. Pixis and Armin together come up with a plan to have Eren use a hyper-convenient boulder to plug the hole in the wall, which he announces to all the soldiers. How the heck can they even hear him up there? We know the walls are 50 meters high, yet this old dude has the voice projection of a freaking megaphone. Back in the action, Eren uses his maneuvering gear to transform over the boulder, but after he shifts, his Titan goes berserk. He attacks Mikasa, giving her that infamous cheek scar, then proceeds to pass out white boy wasted. With the plan seeming to have failed, the soldiers revert to good old-fashioned Titan killing to mixed results. Jean does a whole lot of running, Annie says some depressing shit, and Marco... Armin, after recently binging Naruto Shippuden, decides to talk no jutsu Eren to coming to, and it works. Eren immediately learns the HM strength and carries the boulder across Trost, sealing the hole in what is my favorite scene in this arc. Humanity, for the first time ever, is triumphant against the Titans. Oh, and our gang meets Levi. This first arc is an amazing introduction to this show. Many of the characters range from great to fantastic, and the arc is organic as hell. A lot of initial viewers dismiss Eren as a typical shonen protagonist, being full of angst and always ready to fight, which made sense at the time, but I personally think his basicness in these early episodes helps for when he gets fleshed out in the future, but that's heading into spoiler territory. Another criticism has been the pacing in the later parts of this arc. I will admit that some of the scenes with the wall garrison drag on, but it's never egregious. Overall, this first arc is fantastic, and I love coming back to it with every rewatch. Join me next time when I go over the carnage that is the Female Titan arc. That's it for me. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe and have a phenomenal day.